Steve.
All righty. Welcome everybody to this week's edition, although it's not a weekly edition, this week's edition of Expert Witness with Doug Miner and Steven Palmieri. And we bring this to you first and third Thursdays of every month here in the Pre-Lit Community Group to kind of give you some good content, help you figure out how to run your business from the mindset of a higher level than what a lot of people do. Doug Miner happens to be an expert witness on credit damages. He will not let me say the real number of court cases, so I'll just say he's been on this number of court cases exponentially a few times over. So Doug Miner, how are you doing, sir? Welcome, man. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Super happy to be here. As always, looking forward to this show and getting into some particulars about what I do a little bit.
Good stuff. And for those of you guys watching us, obviously this is your time, really. So feel free to comment below. We are monitoring your comments here, and so anything you want to ask us, on topic, off topic, whatever, just let us know. That's why we're here. So Doug, we were kind of talking a little bit before the show here, tying kind of for those people who don't know you necessarily, you ran a CRO, and then an attorney hired you one day to give him an opinion on something, and then he stroked you a check for that, and you were like, what just happened? And your friend was like, oh, I think you just got paid as an expert witness. And you were like, what's that? Now here you are, fast forward, you're actually a bona fide expert witness on credit damages and stuff. And so we were kind of talking a couple of different things before the show here, but number one, I mean, kind of your cookie cutter credit repair methodology is just kind of like just cycle the pinball machine every 30 days with just different disputes, which I don't necessarily disagree with. I mean, the system is there and you got to work it. But really the intent of the FCRA was, hey, you send in a dispute. It's supposed to be a good dispute. In other words, it's kind of like the burden is on the consumer to put them on notice of what's wrong. And then they're supposed to have reasonable procedures then, once you send that to them, to fix it or remove it, And so it just kind of seems as though in the credit repair world, all too many people, they'll just kind of just send out letters or whatever. There's not really, I guess, what I would call any sort of a factual basis to that, And so, from where you sit, though, attorneys come and hire you, and they give you a fact pattern that you have to look at, and they pay you to take that fact pattern and give some sort of an expert opinion. And so, we were just kind of talking, what if we could run our credit repair businesses in kind of the same way, where we're looking at the factual data, understanding Metro 2, understanding industry standards, and where we were coming to, I think the meeting of the minds was also, though, kind of how does this affect or damage the client? And that's really where your strength is, because from a credit repair and a pre-litigation strategy, that really actually is important. Because in my personal experience running my business, first I'll use a power of attorney for everything, but then if I'm able to reach out to a debt collector when it's kind of hanging on, if I can, first of all, articulate to them why the reinvestigation failed, why the data is still wrong, that's super important. But then if I can tell them, by the way, Mr. Miner is trying to close on a $500,000 home, and your inaccurate, failed to fix and failed to delete reporting is damaging him, that kind of raises their ears a little bit as well. I mean, now you're not just somebody over here who's like just whining for deletion, because their radars are kind of up for, well, how can we be sued? And if what they're reporting is damaging you, even though I can't necessarily prove it, just to have that conversation is on like the 99% level, And that's where you come in, right? On the legal side, is you're really like a damages expert. So, man, take it away, chime in. What do you have going on these days, and what do you want to kind of share with our community here today?
Yeah, I think a couple of things, right? So I don't want to sort of mislead anyone, right? As far as like the credit repair side of it, the show's not about me telling you how to do credit repair. You guys all know how to do that. As far as the damages and how this type of information and stuff on credit reports affects people, the community already knows and hears it probably every single day, as far as this stuff's on my credit and these are the problems I'm having, right? We all are aware of problems that people have when they have damaged credit. But then there's the question of, like I was giving you the illustration before and telling you the story of, you have a plaintiff, let's say an individual, against a defendant, let's call it a data furnisher, whether regardless of what that data furnisher does as a business, could be a credit card company, it could be a bank, could be a mortgage servicer, any data furnisher, right? But then the question, if you dive a little deeper into it to try to give your audience some clarity, is when you're trying to figure out damages, you have to understand that, I think we all understand that there's a diminishing impact on a score over time. So a 30-day late from 4 years ago in comparison to, or let me change that illustration. If you can imagine, you see a credit report with a 60-day late from 5 years ago, but then you have a 30-day late that happened 2 months ago. Well, which one do you think's having more of an impact? The 60-day from 5 or 30 from 2 months ago? It's obviously the 30-day, right? And so
that's a really good point that you're bringing up there. Because we had somebody in our training course group actually a few days ago posted up a credit report for us to review, and it was a perfectly beautiful paid mortgage, except there was one little notation that said short sold, but there was never any late payments, never any everything, every single other data field attribute was perfect. And it was like a 15-year-old account or something, but it said, like short sold, which is a negative attribute. And the question was, hey, should he attack it? Should he try to get it deleted? We talked about it. And of course, my question on that was from the credit repair side, not from like your expert's witness side, but like, well, hey, can this consumer's mortgage person, do they have access to a score simulator? Can they try to tweak what would happen if the trade line were completely deleted versus, maybe a few other things? And he had said, well, this mortgage person doesn't have a score simulator. But I mean, what was running through my mind was, to your point, an old delinquency or derogatory versus recent, you've got a mortgage that has like a 15-year perfect, it was literally like short sold without ever having gone delinquent. It was, I mean, of course that happens. It's not, you don't see it every day, but so I'm sitting here thinking, what if you were to dispute it? I mean, number one, what are you really going to dispute? I mean, if it was short sold, it was short sold, but really, do you want the trade line inadvertently, the whole trade line, to get deleted? That could actually lower the score, because now you're losing this really nice positive account with history. So that's, so that's part of it, right? Is, you've got to kind of weigh from a credit repair perspective, which kind of ties to your point again, the damages. I mean, okay, maybe it's lowering him 5 or 10 points, but is it really damaging him? I mean, per se, you know what I mean? As opposed to an inaccurate foreclosure that had 3 years of total default payments, assuming it's inaccurate. That's an entirely different type of damage on your credit report.
Yeah, so you paint a pretty interesting picture, and I'm sorry I didn't see what had gone on there. For obviously, okay, from my side of it, I have questions always, right? It's always, we have to narrow down the focus of what's happening, and this maybe is sort of a bit of an exercise in kind of what I do, in that, okay, so you said it's a 15-year history, and you say there's the short sale there. Well, when did the short sale happen? How old is it in comparison to today? Answer that question first.
Yeah, I have to go back and look. I don't remember that particular part. I don't remember how old the last activity was, but it didn't really seem to be super recent, if I recall. Yeah.
Okay, so I always have a couple of things, right? The thing I always try to focus on, what's the desired outcome? If I was the credit repair person, what's the desired outcome for this individual? And that's going to dictate a lot of how I view what's going on. Because if the desired outcome is that they want to go back and be able to buy another house again in the future, well, if the short sale is showing up as of 6 months ago, then they're not going to be buying a house for a couple of years, right? Because they have it's not, set aside the score impact, because they're, depending upon the scoring model, there's probably little to zero impact depending upon the scoring model, even though it's so recent, right? In the mortgage, because you're dealing with the older models. But the underwriting guideline is a whole different issue. So now you have an underwriting guideline that's going to eliminate you from probably purchasing a home at least for 12 months, more likely 2 to 4 years, because of that notation on there. So forget about the score. It's the underwriting guideline associated with that narrative on the report. So that's why I go back to that first question about desired outcome of the individual. What do they want? What are you trying to accomplish?
Well, you know what, and that's a good point, because there was a little bit of dialogue back and forth on this post with this report, and part of the conversation was that, even if this notation were removed, when you apply for your loan for your new mortgage, you have to truthfully answer your application, and they'll ask you, did you have foreclosures or things like this, or short sales? If they ask you these things, you can't lie. So even if it's off of your report, if it's on the mortgage application, it could still keep you. So I'd have to go back and check and see. I don't remember if this, was before or beyond the period that the underwriters would need. But that's a good point, though, is that even sometimes if you get off, because you had said, what is the consumer's goal, right? So in this case, the consumer's goal is to get a mortgage. So then you have to consider, well, even if you get the credit itself improved to where they can get the mortgage, if there's something underlying, even if it's been removed from the credit, but it's still a matter of fact, that is going to be on their little checklist, like, did you have a bankruptcy?
Hey, so Steven,
You know,
stop for a sec. Stop for a second. So you're bringing up like conflicting things that you're bringing up. So a couple things. One is, first off, I hope nobody disputes that if it's accurate, right? Why are you disputing something that's accurate first and foremost? Secondly, the fact that the information's on there, like you said, this person's credit could be good enough, and in particular, when you said their credit, right? Clarify this person's credit score may be high enough to get approved for a mortgage, but the information that's contained in the report, meaning the short sale, is going to, from an underwriting standpoint, kick them out on certain underwriting guidelines and mortgages. But then if
yeah.
for whatever reason, and I'm not even going to touch it, if for whatever reason that information is not showing up on the report, and you're bringing up the declarations portion of the 1003, the mortgage application form, yeah, they do have to answer that truthfully. And on there are the questions about foreclosures and things of that nature on the application itself. So the score could be good. It may not show up on the credit report, but then it's going to show up in your application process and answering those questions. So all of that said, you have to apply it to, okay, are they going standard Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, VA, FHA? Are they going to a hard money lender? Are they going to a portfolio lender that doesn't use Fannie or Freddie or any of these other government agency guidelines? So that's part. Okay, so now you see my world, right? Because I have the mortgage background and the credit background, when I calculate damages, I'm looking at, okay, what's the desired outcome, and or what is this person doing in their life that they may or may not have had the opportunity to achieve? Meaning, could they buy a home? Could they not buy a home? If they could buy a home, what were the terms? What's the differential in the terms? If they had to go hard money because of the short sale, now they're paying 10% interest as opposed to 4% interest, right? And that's a fairly easy calculation. But it's that understanding the backstory of the credit, the timing of it, and then also applying the underwriting guidelines that are around when this person is applying for the credit or wants to apply for credit.
Yeah, that's really a lot of important points there, as far as kind of know your client and what their goals are. I mean, if somebody's coming to you from a mortgage broker referral partner, clearly you've already got that relationship with the mortgage connection, and you can help kind of figure out where the credit needs to be. But maybe you've just got people coming to you and they're like, well, I just want to kind of get my credit fixed because at some point I want to get a mortgage. Well, okay. I mean, so part of, I think, just kind of running a good business is to say, well, do you have a mortgage person? Yes or no. A lot of times it's no. Number one, that can make you look like a hero to your referral partners. You can kind of refer your client to one of your mortgage people. And then you can have the mortgage person, kind of give you an idea, if you don't really fully understand all of the mortgage underwriting guidelines, which a lot of people that do credit repair, I mean, they're not experts with all that stuff. Get your client in the hands of a mortgage person who can take a look at the credit, and then that person can say, hey, well, okay, this is kind of where we need to have this client, right? Because there's income situations, there's debt to income situations, and of course there's the credit profile and then the credit score itself. There are so many things to be looked at. And if we can kind of take a look at our clients from that kind of that underwriting perspective, it'll really help us to figure out how to hit the target that they're looking for.
Yeah, I feel like this is a really important conversation to have. I think it can be transformational in the way that the credit repair individuals deal with their consumers and their clients. And then also, as you're bringing up, their referral partners, right? I mean, I can tell you firsthand as far as having referral partners that were in the mortgage lending business or in, realtors, things of that nature, being able to communicate to them effectively as to get what's the desired outcome in general to a mortgage person and a real estate person is to close the deal, period, right? I don't know that they care so much about how you get there, but if you're competent enough and capable enough to communicate that, yes, this can happen, or no, this can't happen, in conjunction with the underwriting guidelines that are being applied, then nobody wastes time, right? It's why go sell somebody a house if you're just going to end up not getting approved or have problems in the future. So, no,
Totally. Yeah.
I'm super, I guess, passionate about this side of it. And
Well,
it's
let's dive in a little bit more. I mean, so now we're kind of crossing the bridge. You're getting more to your side of the world. I mean, what do you see as far as cases and assessing damages and all that kind of stuff? I mean, what kind of things do you see that potentially we as credit repair people, when we're talking to these clients, working with them, we should have our radars up for and looking out for in case, it may need to get handed off to an attorney, or also if we're using a POA, to give us kind of some good questions to ask if we need to call up debt collectors and try to hammer them over the phone, to talk intelligently, you know what I mean? Even though we're not sending it to a lawyer, make these people realize we know what we're talking about. Give us a little bit of kind of inside baseball on some of the good juicy stuff that you see.
well, it's so different than the credit repair person, right? But I think we have the similarities in where we can cross over, and I think just as a standard practice, there's I'm gonna harp on this until everyone sort of gets it's the desired outcome for the individual that a credit repair person is dealing with. And so you want to be able to get that person to the desired outcome in the shortest period of time so that they feel that they've accomplished something. But if you don't know what the desired outcome is and the time frame associated with it, how do you know if you've done a good job or not? And so
Right.
my question is this, and I encourage the credit repair people to use it in the sense of, it's that standard. I forget the name of the question, but it's you can. I'm going to sort of paraphrase, but you can use this question and modify it to your situation as best as possible. And it's essentially asking, if we were sitting here, you and I, Steven, over the next 3 years from now, what has to happen over that 3-year period of time for you and I to feel happy with the progress that we've made with this group, right? The same question applies in the credit repair. It's to the consumer coming to credit repair saying, hey, I want to fix my credit. Well, the question is, okay, if we were talking 9 months from now, what has to happen over those 9 months for you to be happy with your credit situation, and where do you want to be? And then you just have to sit back and listen to whatever that person says and try to figure out what's the best way to get them there legally, ethically, competently, and communicate that to them. So I think a lot of times, at least my experience, when I was doing credit repair.
Hold on a second. I mean, I'm sorry. I hate to cut you off, but you said legally, ethically, and competently. And I mean, I'm not sure if ethics has anything to do with the practice of law, or what you should or should not do. I've known a lot of lawyers. They kind of manipulate the law, and they're like, well, this is what the law says, So anyway, I'm just kind of joking with you. We know what you're saying there. Go ahead.
Yeah, everyone's got their interpretation, right?
Right. That's right.
So yeah, it's a matter of you got me off track, Steven.
That's okay. It's a matter of us telling them legally, ethically, and putting a pathway together on how to get them there.
Yeah, and I guess what I was getting at was, in my personal experience doing credit repair, there's many times where the consumer comes and they say to you as a credit repair person, hey, I need this taken off my credit report, right? It's not what happened. It's not that it's inaccurate. It's not that it didn't happen. It's can you get this off my credit report? This is what I need. This is what the mortgage person told me, or this is what my realtor, or this is what my CPA, somebody told them, or they just read online. This is what I need to have done. Well, you know as well as I do that may not be the best thing for them, first and foremost. Secondly, it may not be legally the right thing to do. Did it actually happen? There's a good probability it did. Is it accurate? Again, is it? And if it is, then why are you going to touch it to begin with? But there may be some aspect of the reporting that you want to attack as far as the credit repair side is concerned, and I'm not going to get into that part of it right now. But I always believe that there are ways to improve someone's credit score effectively and sometimes quickly, right? Either using a rapid rescore or paying things down. There's other solutions. And being creative as far as using those things that are legal and can get them to their desired outcome quicker than filing a dispute. Because if the desired outcome is to buy a home and you're going to be filing disputes, well, I mean, I don't know. You don't have to be a genius to know that if you file a dispute, you're going to have a dispute narrative on the credit report. And what's a Fannie Mae underwriting guideline that you don't want to run into? A dispute narrative on the credit report.
Right. Then you have to call up and undispute them, like, yeah, I know we disputed like for the past 6 months, 5 times, but now I want to undispute it. Yeah. So that interesting scenario. But, you had said sometimes the clients will come to you and then they're like, well, I think this thing needs to go, or I need this to happen. And then you had said that may not really be the best thing. And the interesting thing is that it's kind of like, the majority of people that come for credit repair, they really don't even care what you do. Like, they don't even care about their credit in general. They care about what it can get them. They're like, we don't really give a rat's ass about any of this stuff. We don't, you could be the greatest. I don't even care what my score is or nothing. Like, I just know that I have this pain right here, which is, I need funding for my business and I got to co-sign, or I need to get a mortgage and I can't get it, or I need to get a car and I can't get it, or I need all these kinds of things.
Yeah, the
and
job.
This credit thing is keeping me from getting there. So, can you help me out, right? And that's kind of the weird thing is, it's like, you can do the greatest job in the world, but if you don't get them to the finish line, then which is part of managing expectations as well. But what you get is where, us knowing our clients, what their goals are, and sometimes helping them figure out their goals as well. Like if somebody comes to you like 30 days before closing and they're at 550, they've got freaking problems. You know what I mean? Like, how do we get to this point? Hopefully that doesn't happen a whole lot, but I remember during the subprime days, people were expecting, because they're like, well, I was able to get a mortgage with a 575, and then, if I just couldn't pay it, they took it back. But can you get me back up to a 575 so I can get another mortgage? It's like, well, no. So yeah, man. So what are you seeing a lot of these days? Anything in particular that's kind of coming across your desk as far as specific types of cases that the attorneys are asking you to review?
I just recently, I guess it's an aspect we can talk about where, because you're an expert, you're on one side of the case, right? And then there's typically an expert on the other side, as we know. And the way it typically works is that if you're on the plaintiff side, you look over the documents, you issue your report, and then the defense side has the opportunity to give it to their expert, and their expert can send a rebuttal report to your report, right? And so a lot of times in the rebuttal report, you may disagree with me as an expert. I may disagree with the other expert's opinion or their rebuttal, and there's very little chance, or there's not as much of an opportunity to respond to that in a report. But you'll have to communicate as best you can under the questions that are given to you in a deposition or in a trial. But
that's when you like the attorney who's hiring you comes to you with like a briefcase full of cash, and they're like, Doug, I need you to say the exact opposite as what they're trying to say over there. How much is it going to cost me to, it's got to be ethical and all that kind of stuff. So is that kind of what you're saying, apart from all the humor, though? I mean, it's
That,
again, in case somebody pulls this tape and tries to impeach Doug's credibility, this is for education and information and entertainment purposes only. Nothing in here should be construed as anything intelligent. So go ahead, Doug.
God, Steven's comedy show. Like,
That's right. That's right. That's right. So, but I mean, that's kind of it, right? I mean, all joking aside, I mean, clearly they're coming to you because it's a little bit of a battle, right? I mean, you've got one side, you've got the other side. I mean, obviously, if you can, within the limits of your knowledge, skills, abilities, say, I can put together a good opinion that supports our side. Because, I mean, let's just be honest, there's always two sides. That's why there's a court case. I mean, there was literally two sides to it. And so, not to say an expert on the other side and an expert on your side can't both be experts, because that's why you've got to go ahead and use those skills. So, and that's part of really why you get paid, is because, number one, know your opponent, who's going to be the expert on the other side, how do they think, and how can you take the facts and put together an expert, report on that.
yeah,
Let's see, we've got Robert Sigmund over here is watching us, Mr. Kredzu. He says, I don't know. I couldn't tell if I was joking. I have experience in that, Steve. No, man, I've never been given a briefcase full of cash, unfortunately, to write an expert report. But Rob, if you want to, I can give you my address and you can come on over here to Texas and I'll take your briefcase full of cash. All right, little smiley face. So Robert, I appreciate that, man. So all right, well, let's kind of take this thing in for a landing here. So let's see, sounds good. Yeah, I'm going to hold you to that, my friend. Definitely, definitely. So, which, by the way, Robert Sigmund, if you guys don't know him, he's in our Facebook community. He's got a cool little product called Credzu, which lets you do escrow for credit repair payments. It's a pretty cool credibility thing, and also a little chat mechanism, because TSR right now is the hot topic, and nobody really knows how that thing works. I mean, so so anyway, yeah. So Doug, let's see here. Let's take this thing in for a crash landing. Okay, so maybe so when they come to you, not with the briefcase full of cash, but with a legitimate retainer agreement, and they're like, Doug, we're going up against this over here. We need your help. If you look at it and you think it's a stinking pile of poop, are you still able to put something together, or are you kind of like ethically bound to say, man, I really can't punch any holes in this thing? Like where's the limit to your ability to help your side?
wow. Okay, Steven, that was a loaded question, but super stoked to answer it, right?
Rock on, man. Rock on.
Yeah. First and foremost, I have my opinions about it, I have my background and knowledge, and you're going to do the best that you can, right? You're not going to do
Right.
the money issue is not even an issue, because as you said in the beginning, I'm retained, I'm doing my job. But to your point, I think the point being is that if I have an opinion about a case that is not supportive of the opinion of the law firm or the attorney who's hired me, that happens. Well, let me say it this way. No case, in my opinion, is ever, quote unquote, perfect. And I believe that just the process alone is adversarial. So you have two different sides and opinions going at each other. But if there is something within the case that I'm working on where I feel there's a weakness or there's strengths, I'll point those out to the attorneys and say, look, this is where I think your case is weak, or this is where I see a strong way to support my opinions and is similar to what you guys want to, that would be the most desired outcome for you, right? So I stay neutral in what I'm looking at, but it doesn't mean I can't be objective. I am objective in looking at, okay, where are the strengths, where are the weaknesses, what's happened, when did it happen, how severe did it impact this person or not. So to answer your question, there are times where I have to tell the law firms that have hired me, hey, this is, this part of what happened in this person credit is not helping your case. But the point being is they need to understand the strengths and weaknesses of their case as well. It's not that the facts are there. And you have to assume that the expert on the other side is going to be competent enough to address those issues. That's all.
Have you ever turned down an offer to be hired just because you really didn't feel confident in your ability to deliver?
Okay, that sort of insinuates. Okay, let me say it this way: there have been cases that I have not taken on, or there may have been cases where the law firms weren't didn't agree with my opinion about something.
Sure.
But as far as
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, like if you just kind of look at the case and you're like, man, I just don't know how I can get you what you're looking for. I mean, that's not your not inability to deliver, like you're not competent, but like just they've got the case and like they think there's an angle, but you're just like, man, I don't see it. Like, I mean, does that ever happen?
sure, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
that's what I meant. I didn't mean like Big Daddy Doug just couldn't deliver the goods. I mean, we know you're the man when it comes to credit damage experts, but obviously that does happen, especially when you've seen as many cases as you've been hired for. I mean, I would imagine that would happen from time to time.
yeah.
And so. So man, well, let's as we crash land this thing. Man, it's always good having these shows, but we bring this to the listeners here and really give you kind of a different perspective on things, right? I mean, how can you take a look at your business and just maybe look at it from a little bit of a different angle as you're trying to frame up those disputes? Just kind of maybe think from a different perspective other than, God, I just got to get to deletion at all costs. What am I going to fire out? But like, how can I build a fact pattern in a case and ask the right questions and gain some leverage? And so, Doug, you like talking to people. You like teaching people who are interested in expert witness work. I think you yourself have told me there's probably not enough expert witnesses in the credit space. So if anybody wants to get in touch with you, man, how can they do that?
Yeah, easiest way is to email me, doug@dougminer.com. They can go to my website, dougminer.com. And yeah, I'm really interested in speaking with people and communicating with people that really want to elevate their game and really want to transform the way they do business, right? Look at things like you just said really, really well. It's taking a different look at things, looking at it slightly differently. And maybe those slight changes in looking at it differently can really help you as a credit repair person and also help those clients, right? And possibly, you end up doing the type of work that I do, which would be awesome.
Absolutely, man. Getting paid the big bucks to stay there in beautiful sunny California, man. We all aspire to be Big Doug. But all joking aside, Doug, it is always a pleasure, man. You bring a really cool perspective to this industry that I just don't think a lot of people have access to, including me, really, until you and I became friends. And I appreciate what we do here. And so if any of you guys watching you want to get to know Doug, he's a super fun kind of a guy. He's not only a comedian on this show, he's also a funny guy in real life as well. And of course, for those of you guys who want to learn just more about, let's see. Oh, I was going in for my closing statement here, my outro, and then let's see here. We've got Matt Listro. Let's see here, Doug. What is the current range of compensation for credit experts now? So Matt Listro is dropping. Matt Listro, you literally cut in the middle of my outro closing stage right here. So, all right, Doug. What can well, this is kind of a loaded answer, and I'll let you because of how long have you been doing it, and so
Well,
go ahead, take it away, Doug.
in general, I think you're going to look at probably low ends, probably like 275. You start getting 400 and above, kind of on the higher end of things. So, low end in the 275 range, high end's going to be 400 plus, maybe 500, somewhere in there.
I know people that get paid like $10,000 an hour, professional speakers. You only get paid like $450 an hour, Doug. Man, we got to move you up in this world, buddy. You got a lot of work ahead of you. So, but all kidding aside, but a good question there, Matt Listro. And so again, man, thank you guys all for watching, being part. And again, go to dougminer.com. Feel free to reach out to him. And again, my goodness, Matt Listro, I thought your viewers should know just how there you go, lucrative. All right. And if you guys, speaking of, let's see here, Robert Sigmund. All right, thank you guys. Great information. I got to tell you guys, I think this is the most chopped up outro that I've ever had. It just keeps on coming here. It's like squirrel ADD. So that being said, if you guys want to learn more about pre-litigation disputes, which Doug is a part of, my my training course, go to creditrepairtrainingcourse.com, and we do give you a 30-day free trial, the only training course fully endorsed by Mr. Matt Listro. Matt Listro says one more thing, just kidding. No, that's Robert's signal. So on that note, we appreciate you guys for watching, and we will see you guys same time, same place in 2 weeks. You guys take care.
Right on.